What's up, YouTube? This is the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide. I'm your host, Dave Wade, back on the set once again. Preseason is over. The Brian Flores tank gate is over. Deshaun Watson rumors are over. Even though I know Mike Florio and Armando Salguero and Omar Kelly and Colin Cowherd, they're going to start another rumor and more controversy after we beat the Patriots this week. Even though we got known fans, haters in the media, we know they really scared of it because they don't want to talk about us, but they know they got to, because if we put it all together, I feel like with this roster we have right now, we could beat any team in the league, and I'm hoping that we show something at 1 o'clock. The game is at 1 o'clock in Hard Rock Stadium, broadcasting on CBS and live streaming on Paramount Plus. That's how you can check out the game. I'm probably going to have a beer in my hand with some wings in front of me, watching the game, analyzing everything so I can give y'all the breakdown on the recap. Now, we've had their number whenever they come down to the tank and played us in Miami. We won 4 out of the last 5 matchups and 7 out of the last 9. And we did all of that really without a solid running game, if you really think about it. Don't get me wrong, I would say both games we played last year, I think our running game played pretty good, but overall not good enough to really be dominant. You know, I thought Duke Johnson did a great job in week 18 last year, which I'm going to talk about, but not enough to be solidified as the back that we're going to have going forward. So this game, we got a whole new set of backs. Even though we still have Ahmed and Gaskin, it's going to be Chase Edmonds or Raheem Mostert. I think this game, Raheem Mostert should start at running back, but I'm pretty sure, Chase is going to get a lot of action this game. And I would say we also didn't really have an elite wide receiver on this team. Don't get me wrong, Devontae Parker did make a lot of great plays for us against them. He exposed cornerback Stephon Gilmore when he was on the Pats, and it just seemed like he did get up for those games, but he's not a master route runner, and he doesn't strike fear in secondary. He's not going to take the top off of the defense, and he's not going to get you a lot of yards after catch. The only thing you got to worry about when it comes to DP is his catch radius, back shoulder throws, and back shoulder catches, and his ability to high point the ball anywhere on the field, especially in the red zone. And, if he plays this game, which I'm pretty sure he's going to, that's something that we're going to have to worry about, because I know Bill Belichick is going to find a way to utilize DP to try to have him stick it to us, for us cutting him on this team. Well, trading him, I should say, to the Pats on this team, from this team. But we got the baddest motherfucker on the field. That's the cheetah. That's why Coach Bill Belichick flew down to Dade County early to try to get acclimated to the heat. You can't get acclimated unless you train down here all the time, which we do. So I don't know how that's going to work, but they better be prepared for that heat, because this damn show coming. Excluding all the AFC teams that Reek played against, he got more receiving yards against New England than any other team, which he did in 3 games, and he's caught 24 of 34 targets in those games against the Patriots. That's 401 yards, y'all. And last year we ended up sweeping the Patriots without Tyreek Hill, and it was Mac Jones' rookie season after getting drafted from Alabama. He's pretty much played with the same weapons that Tua had in college, but he got different weapons on the Patriots. They got Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, Devontae Parker, like I said, and then they're going to pull some bitch-ass shit like Bill Belichick like to do, because he's strategic, by adding Lynn Bowden Jr., who we cut, who I thought we should have kept on this team, but hopefully he don't get too many secrets from Lynn Bowden, on what we're trying to do schematically. If both of them play this game and we lose, that post-game press is going to be awkward as a motherfucker. I mean, let's knock on wood and hope that don't happen, but We better win this game. But they were grooming Mac Jones last year the same way that they groomed Tom Brady. A lot of meat and potatoes, basic plays for him in his first 3 games, and then they just added more plays for him to run weekly so that by the last 3 weeks, he knows all his options in the offense. And he was accurate. He executed well on a lot of the scripted plays that Josh McDaniels put together for him. But when I watched his tape, he's terrible off script. We got to make him flush out of the pocket and move around, which I'm going to talk about in the keys to victory later on in this video. Even though Josh McDaniels was right now the head coach of the Raiders, and New England is doing what we did last year by having 2 OCs or no OCs, I still fully expect Bill Belichick to have the same philosophy, 5 wide sets. He's going to try to run the ball, power run, with Damian Harris on a lot of misdirection runs. You're going to have to worry about, his receiving running back on wheel routes. They like to run a lot of wheel routes, which I'm going to talk about in the keys to victory also. So we got to watch out for that. It's going to be the same philosophy. Let's look at the last 2 games that we played them. The last times that we played them was last year in the 2021 season in week 1 and week 18, and we won both of those games. Let's take a look at week 1. We barely won 17-16, but we won. Even though this was a low-scoring game, I thought the play calling and the game plan that we used against Belichick was superb in my opinion. I know y'all might have a different opinion, but I really think Godsey and Stewsville did a great job calling plays. We was up-tempo, we was unpredictable the whole game, and I could tell that Bill couldn't really get a bead on what the hell we was doing and what we was going to do next from play to play to play to play, which I liked. First half, Tua was accurate with his throws the whole first half, but our wide receivers dropped passes. Waddle dropped a pass that would have been a real good completion, but they dropped passes. It would have made his stats look a lot better. Both Gaskin and Ahmed, I thought, were real good threats in both the run and the pass in the first quarter. We were tied 10-10 at halftime, but the score could have easily been 17-10. Tua threw a nice mini bomb pass to Albert Wilson with, I think, like 35 seconds left that would have been a touchdown at the end of the half, but the Patriots DB deflected the ball. I thought Albert could have jumped for the ball. I think that's what separates the receivers today of the receivers that have passed. Receivers like Nat Moore, Duriel Harris, even Dupe and Clayton, they would have jumped for that pass. They would have jumped for that in the end zone and caught that so that they would have used their body to stop the DB from getting the deflection, and they would have caught that as a touchdown. But Tua could have thrown it a little bit earlier, but when I really watched the route, it looked like he threw it on time. It's just the DB made a good play, and Albert didn't do enough to fight for the football. He just kind of expected it to be there. I also thought in the second quarter we should have used the running backs more since they was making plays in the first quarter. And Flores alluded to that when he was talking with reporters after the half. Another thing that I noticed was that our receivers were struggling to beat man coverage. Our first 5 possessions on offense was touchdown, punt, field goal. That's not going to cut it if we play them at 1 o'clock. We play them we got to make sure that we start off fast, start off with a good strong lead, maybe 10-0 or 10-3 or 14-3 by halftime, maybe 17-3 or 17-6, something like that. You got to start off fast when you play the Patriots. But our defense got good pressure on Mac, and we did a good job of blitzing on 3rd and short. Devin McCourty made real good plays for us, so that was good. Second half, Tua threw a mini bomb to Devontae Park, who kept both feet in bounds, and we got back to the run, and Gaskin definitely made plays in the second half. He had a 10-plus yard reception, then followed that up with a 10-plus yard run. Next play, we unleashed the Wildcat that gained 7 yards. Ran it again with Malcolm Brown inside the 5 to get the first down, and that led to a Waddle score. The rest of the game, we held a lead, and it was an ugly win, but that made us 1-0 in the division, and it got us off to a good start. Like I said, unpredictable. Flores brought out all of the things or certain things that he knew that Bill Belichick didn't like. He knows Belichick hates the Wildcat. Again, I know Mike McDaniel is the new offensive coordinator and head coach, and he's going to run the West Coast offense, which that's my favorite offense. I'm glad he's going to run the West Coast. I told y'all before we hired him that my top 5 coaches, all my top 5 coaches that I chose before we hired Mike Daniel were West Coast coaches. You still have to mix it up. You still got to mix it up. He still needs to run the Wildcat here and there. Don't get predictable. Bill Belichick's been around the block. He was the defensive coordinator with the Giants when they shut down the West Coast offense. So he knows what he's doing. You got to be unpredictable this game. Week 18, we wore the throwbacks with throwback end zones. At this point, we're both fighting to get in the playoffs. We needed a lot of help from other teams, but the Patriots was 10-6, and they were real in good position. We were 8-8. We struggled with our rushing attack pretty much the whole year, trying to find answers, starting the year with Gaskin and Ahmed and Malcolm Brown as the power back, and then ending the season leaning on Duke Johnson and Philip Lindsay, who were in the attack this game. Also at this point, the Patriots had a top 5 defense that, was pretty much solidified. First half, Jalen set the rookie reception record by moving ahead of Anquan Bolden and Michael Thomas. And then Tua drove us down the field through a rope to Waddle in the back of the end zone to put us up 7-0. And I think that was the pass where he broke it. Then Xavier Howard gets a pick 6 on Mac Jones to put us up 14-0. And then Howard, when you look at that play, that interception, Howard just executed and played Jedi mind tricks with Mac Jones, showing them man coverage. They had a 3 wide receiver look with 2 of their wide receivers on the weak side, and he played man coverage on, the boundary receiver, and he just baited Mac Jones thinking that he was playing man coverage and switched the zone right after he snapped the ball and jumped the route. He jumped the route and took it to the house. So that's what I'm talking about. Good instincts. That's X doing what X do. But I think Duke Johnson ran with a lot of power. He got us first downs. We went in the halftime leading 17-7. I thought we played a good half on offense, but our defense just got embarrassed on a Brandon Bolden run where he just bounced it to the outside and scored. And we got to watch out for that this game as well. Those outside runs that the Patriots like to run, misdirection runs. Buffalo be gashing us with that too, with Singletary and Moss. So we gotta be careful with that. I like Josh Borea's defense. I like the fact that we get after the quarterback and we blitz, but we could be susceptible against the run. Second half, Duke Johnson scored on an outside run to put us up 24-10. Then defense got gashed again, like on the same type of running play from the first quarter with Brandon Bolden getting a 20-plus run. We got to watch out for that. But the game ended up being close, to the fourth quarter. At one point, the score was 27-24 and stayed that way till the last second. Then the Patriots tried to pull off a miracle on their 1-yard line, and Sam McGovern caused a turnover and scored to give us the final score of 33-24. Now, let's take a look at the keys to victory this game. It's week 1. When I looked at the tape from the last 2 games that we played them, here's my keys to victory on offense. Use the playbook from Godsey and Stewsville last year. Yes, I said it. Use the playbook from Godsey and Stewsville last year. Continue to be unpredictable with mixed formations. I think we should run some of what Mike McDaniel runs in the West Coast, but also run some RPO plays as well. Don't throw the ball late down the middle to her. It's a high possibility of a pick. There's times where you scrambled out of the pocket and you've thrown it in the middle of the field, and it could have been intercepted, but you dodged a few bullets a few times. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I do expect them to play a lot of man coverage this game, especially if we run any RPO plays. They're gonna try to get physical and attack the mesh point. The mesh point is basically where Tua has the option of giving the ball to the running back or pulling it. They're gonna try to attack that. Defensively, our defense, the keys to victory on defense. Remember, with the Patriots, there's no number one wide receiver in their passing attack. Expect them to spread the ball around. I believe, like I said, Devontae Parker will play. We need to put Xavier Howard on him because we know Xavier Howard has been giving DP a whole bunch of problems in practice ever since he got on the team. Another key on defense, stop Damian Harris and be alert for the toss play. Be alert for the toss play. They love to run the toss play, and they love to run jet sweeps. We got to watch out for the jet sweep. Another key on defense, disrupt the design with pressure. Mixed pressure. Mac Jones is good on scripted plays, but when it comes to pressure, he's not good under pressure. He's going to either throw a bad pass, a late pass, or we can get it intercepted. Play a lot of man coverage and confuse them with time zone coverage. A lot of Mac Jones throws is going to be within 10 yards. When we limit their separation, we'll have a better chance of stopping them, but watch the wheel routes. We like to play man bump and run. Watch the wheel routes. They're going to try to run them. Jerome Baker is going to need to be better at deflecting passes, especially, knowing that the Patriots are going to try to run those flares or run those passes to their wide receiver and running back. Defend the Patriots' 12 personnel packages. They love to run 12 personnel packages when they get past the 50-yard line. We got to stop that. Those are my keys to victory. I believe, just from watching tape, that if we follow those things, I believe we'll win this game. And if I had to do a prediction on the score, I think we're going to win this game 27-10. When Shula coached against the Patriots, since this Tua third year in the league, we'll go back to 1985. That was Marino's third year. We went 12-4 his rookie year, but he didn't start the season as the starter. David Woodley ended up starting the first 5 games and actually beat Buffalo, New England, and Kansas City. And I think Shula could have kept him in there the whole season, and we might have went back to the ship with him at quarterback. But Shula thought about it, and he decided to insert Marino in the next week and cemented him as the franchise quarterback, similar to what Brian Flores did with Tua. We ended up going 3-3 with Fitzpatrick. A lot of the fans was excited because we beat San Francisco when Mike McDaniel was calling the running plays as the run game coordinator. And we had a good feeling after that game. But Flores decided to put Tua in, and it was pretty much around the same time that Shula put Marino in the game. Some fans was tripping because Woodstock took us to the Super Bowl in '82, and fans was like, why change the formula? If the pipe ain't broke, don't fix it. But Shula expanded his version of the West Coast with confidence, knowing that Dan's quick release and anticipation is going to open up the playbook. '84, he had his best season ever at quarterback, went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Niners, and '85 was pretty much supposed to be the get-back year from '84. The problem was the Patriots was also championship ready, and they stood in the way of Marino getting his first ring. Now, we already beat and upset the Bears in the regular season. If we would have met them again in the Super Bowl, I feel like the pressure of us beating them would have been too much for them to overcome because we broke their will that game. And that was one of the greatest upsets in the history of the NFL. And that kept the undefeated streak alive. Best believe Bears fans was happy that we lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, because they was definitely scared to face us. Let's take a look at that Week 15 game that we won. We won that game 30-27 after losing to the Patriots 13-17 in Week 9. And it was a good game. Tight end Joe Rose caught a 6-yard touchdown. Fullback Ron Davenport ran one in the first quarter. And then the Patriots, they was pretty much doing their best to try to stop the run, because Shula, again, being the mastermind that he is, knows when to switch up the formula based on the team that he's playing and based on necessity. The Patriots was giving us a lot of problems in a passing game, from quarterback Tony Eason pretty much slicing us up and connecting with wide receiver Irvin Fryer, who played, ended up being on the Dolphins, but he before he was on the Dolphins, he played for the Patriots. Like I said, Shula adjusted the game plan. He leaned on the running game, and Lionel Hampton was giving us good yards. Ron Davenport was giving us good yards, and Fuad Reves ended up having a pretty good game. We met them again, like I said, in the AFC Championship game, but we lost 14-31. And one of the reasons why I'm mad that we didn't go to the Super Bowl this year, because we ended up bringing back Duriel Harris, and I felt like this is another team that had my favorite set of wide receivers. We had Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, Nat Moore, and Duriel Harris, like 4 of the best receivers in Dolphins history, all on the same team, and we couldn't get it done. But I think this would have been Shula's 3rd trophy if we would have found a way to beat New England, but we wasn't able to do it. But this game, we got to win. Like I said, I want us to always start off fast, beat the Patriots this game. Everybody, this is gonna be a packed house this game, because there's been a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement because of Tyreek coming to this team. But I hope that y'all drinking y'all beer, y'all got y'all wings just like me, and make sure y'all be optimistic about the team and show support for Tua. I know y'all want to see Skylar Thompson in Week 1 and have him as the starter for the whole season, but Tua is gonna be the starter. And I hope he throws some deep balls this game so he can shut a lot of y'all up about him having a noodle on. But that's all I got for this game. Fins up. Till next time, signing off. TBFN.